Fundraising is an important part of the program planning process, and therefore, writing a successful funding proposal is essential for any organization. The most important point to start with is to read all relevant documents before starting to write. You must start by looking for the general information, which includes the funding priorities, time frame and application process, costs the grant will cover, the eligibility criteria for the funding, what kind of support is available, policies and documents required while submitting the application, and make sure to include the cost of reporting requirements within the project. After this, you can start with project planning. Let's start with the needs assessment. A needs assessment is a systematic process for determining and addressing needs or gaps between current conditions and desired conditions. It helps in improving the quality of the proposal and leads to achieving desired results. There are various ways of assessing the needs of your beneficiaries. For example, form a focus group of 5 to 10 people and ask them about their needs. Use this information to frame simple questionnaires and surveys to be filled out at public events. Another way is through feedbacks, which should be collected at training and events. You can also set up advice surgeries to collect feedback. Ideally, there should be a small fund to run the activities to identify needs. Collect maximum information by interviewing relevant people. After you have assessed needs, work on setting up the aims of your project. Aims are the specific changes you want to bring and stems from the needs of your beneficiaries. Example, to increase participation in activities that reduce isolation, to reduce truancy and school exclusions. Aims have change words in them such as increase, improve, reduce, maintain, prevent. Your aims should not be descriptive and you should avoid using words that connote description. Then write your objectives. Objectives are planned areas of activities, example, training sessions or visits. An objective is narrow, precise, tangible, concrete, and can be measured. By taking part in these activities, your beneficiaries are likely to achieve the change, that is, outcomes that will impact on their needs, which are aims. It is also essential to mention your outputs or activities. Outputs are the individual goods, services, and products that are on offer. For an objective to deliver good quality training sessions, the output will be the number and type of training workshops. Once you have your objectives and outputs in place, describe the outcomes. Outcomes are the direct difference that your project made to your users' lives. They are concrete results necessary for producing solution. Beneficiaries. Beneficiaries or target groups should be described in some detail and do not omit the details which are obvious to you, as the reader might not be an expert in that field. You should mention both direct and indirect beneficiaries. Engagement. Engagement activities can provide new perspectives on your work and help you develop valuable communication skills to raise the profile of your project and maximize its potential. It is therefore advised to mention the type of engagement activities you plan to use in your funding proposal. Period of time. A clear indication of the time frame for the project and the times when each aspect of the project will be implemented is necessary. Make sure your project finishes on time for you to write and submit your report. With this, we come to the last but very important part of project planning, that is, budgeting. Budgeting reflects the plan and how resources will be allocated to implement the plan. Start by making a list of all things you will need. Always check prices and compare them, and also make sure whether other costs like VAT and insurance are included or not. Mention both operational and capital costs in your proposal. Don't forget to budget for what is needed and make sure it adds up. Last but not the least, a good description of what's in for the funder is essential to any proposal. Address the funding priorities for which the funder has set up the grant. Be clear about how your project's outcome contributes directly to the priorities that you are applying under. And remember to work on monitoring and evaluation framework. This will give you and the funder a clear idea of the resources needed to collect the information and will allow you to tell the world how successful your project is.